Hi everyone, welcome to the world of GK for learning general knowledge. Last class, I gave an introduction to fundamental rights. Today I am going to explain fundamental rights in detail. Keep on watching my channel. Don't miss any lesson because all lessons are very important in the exam point of view. Let's start. Fundamental rights. First one, right to equality. The related articles are 14 to 18. Second, right to freedom, 19 to 22. Third one, right against exploitation, articles 23 and 24. Fourth one, right to freedom of religion, 25 to 28. 25th one, cultural and educational, 29 to 30. Sixth one, right to constitutional remedies, article 32. Let's see them in detail. Article 14. All persons are equal before law and equal protection of laws. Article 14 states that all persons are equal before law and they should get equal protection of laws. Article 15 prohibits discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex and place of birth. So, Article 15 states that there should not be any discrimination in case of religion, race, caste, sex and place of birth. Article 16 provides equality of opportunities in matters of public employment. In case of government jobs, and all the citizens have equality of opportunities. All the citizens have equal opportunities in case of public employment. That is Article 16. Article 17 abolishes untouchability and forbids its practice in any form. So, Article 17 states that it abolishes untouchability. It is against the untouchability and forbid its practice in any type of untouchability. It prohibits. Article 18 abolishes titles except military or academic. Only military and academic titles are accepted and all the other titles are abolished according to Article 18. Article 19(1) it guarantees 6 fundamental freedoms to all citizens. Our 6 fundamental freedoms comes under Article 19(1). And the fundamental freedoms are: first one, freedom of speech and expression, the Article 19(1)(a), and Article 19(1)(b) states that to assemble peacefully and without arms. We can have the freedom to assemble peacefully in a place. And according to Article 19(1)(c), to form associations or unions or cooperative societies. It allows freedom to form associations or unions or cooperative societies. And next one, according to Article 1(d), to move throughout the territory of India. We can travel throughout our country. And next one, fifth one is, that was according to Article 19(1)(e), to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India. And we can reside or settle in any part of India, anywhere in India. And sixth one is, according to Article 19(1)(g), to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or business. It allows us to do any type of trade or business or to practice any profession or occupation. Originally, Article 19(1) contained 7 freedoms, but this freedom to acquire, hold and dispose of property, 19(1)(f), was deleted by the 44th Amendment Act of 1978. So, there were 7 freedoms according to Article 19(1), but the freedom to acquire, hold and dispose of property, that was deleted by the 44th Amendment Act of 1978. In last class, we have seen that Janata government, they deleted this freedom by the 44th Amendment Act of 1978. And it was during the time of Morarji Desai, and this was that freedom of property was Article 19(1)(f), that was deleted. Now it is a legal right, not a fundamental right. Article 20 grants 3 kinds of protection against arbitrary and excessive punishment to accused person. So, according to Article 20, we get 3 kinds of protection against arbitrary and excessive punishment to an accused person, whether citizen or foreigner or a legal person like company or corporation will get these 3 types of protections. The 3 types of protections are: first one, no ex post facto law. No ex post facto law means a law that makes illegal an act that was legal when committed, increases the penalties after it has been committed. When we are doing an act, it was legal, and after that, making that act illegal and increases the penalties after it has been conducted. That is no ex post facto law. So, there should not be any ex post facto law. Second one is no double jeopardy. Hence, no person shall be prosecuted and punished for the same offense more than once. So, we should not give double punishment for a person for doing one crime. For a crime, only one time punishment should be there, and we should not give him double punishment. No double jeopardy. No self-incrimination. Means no person accused of any offense shall be compelled to a witness against himself. So, we should not compel a person to accept his crime or to accept his guilt. That is, no self-incrimination. Article 14, 19 and 21 are known as Golden Triangle of Indian Constitution. These 3 articles form the Golden Triangle of Indian Constitution. The articles 14, 19 and 21. The article 21 provides protection of life and personal liberty. So, we get protection of life and personal liberty under article 21. This right is available to both citizens and non-citizens. This article 21 is available to both citizens and non-citizens. That is for the protection of life and for personal freedom. Then Article 21A. This is an amended article, and this was added to the Article 21. The state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of age of 6 to 14 years. This 21A is an amended article, and according to Article 21A, it states that our state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of age 6 to 14 years. And the right to education became a fundamental right by the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2002. So, the right to education became a fundamental right by the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act. It was in the year 2002 and according to the Bill 93. Article 22 provides protection against arbitrary arrest and detention. So, Article 22 prevents arbitrary arrest and detention. So, a person should not be abducted or arrested forcefully. That comes under Article 22. And according to Article 22, an arrested person must be produced before the nearest magistrate within 24 hours of arrest. And also it states that that arrested person must be produced before the nearest magistrate within 1 day. That is 24 hours of arrest. Article 23 prohibits traffic in human beings and other similar forms of forced labor. Article 23 prevents forced labor and human trafficking. Article 24, it prohibits employment of children below the age of 14 years, that is child labor. So, Article 24 prohibits child labor in any factory, mine or any other hazardous activities. So, Article 24 prevents the child from doing any hazardous activities or work in a mine, factory, etc. It prevents child labor. Article 25 to 28, these three articles, 25, 26, 20, these four articles that try to believe in any religion. So, we have the right to believe in any religion, that comes under Article 25 to 28. Next one is Article 29. It provides the protection of interest of minorities. Article 29 provides protection of interest of minorities. Article 30 provides the right of minorities to establish and administer educational institutions. Article 30 provides freedom to establish education institutions and administer education institutions for the minorities. Article 32 provides the right to constitutional remedies. According to Article 32, we get the right to constitutional remedies and for the enforcement of fundamental rights by the Supreme Court. So we can approach Supreme Court in case of any problem to our fundamental rights, that is according to Article 32. And Dr. Ambedkar called this article as the heart and soul of the Constitution. Dr. Ambedkar described this article as the heart and soul of the Constitution because that article is for the fundamental rights of the people, to protect the fundamental rights of the people, and it was for the constitutional remedies. That's all about the fundamental rights. Hope you understood the video. Please like, subscribe and press the bell icon and select all to get all the notification and share to your friends. See you in the next video. Thank you.